The sun dipped behind the jagged cliffs, casting eerie shadows over the canyon. The wind whistled through the rocks, carrying a sound, faint, desperate. A heavy breath, a struggling movement. Deep within the rugged terrain, something was trapped. At first, the hikers thought it was just another rock formation, blending with the wilderness. But then, a flick of a tail, a shuddering breath, and a pair of weary eyes staring back at them. A wild stallion, wedged between two massive boulders, his body scraped and bloodied from failed attempts to escape. He had fought, he had struggled, but now he was still, too still. Time was running out. Would help arrive before it was too late, or would the canyon claim another lost soul? It started as an ordinary hike. A small group of travelers, eager to explore the breathtaking canyons, trekked through the rugged terrain. The air was crisp, the sky painted in shades of orange and gold. But as they neared a rocky outcrop, something felt off. A strange stillness, a silence too deep. Then they saw it. At first it looked like nothing more than a cluster of rocks. But then, a subtle movement, a weak flick of a tail, a slow rise and fall of a rib cage. A gasp escaped one hiker's lips. "Oh my God, it's a horse!" A wild stallion, wedged between two massive boulders, his powerful body trapped in a merciless grip. His once mighty legs trembled, his eyes clouded with exhaustion. Dried blood streaked his coat where sharp rocks had torn into his flesh. He had tried to free himself, again and again. But the canyon would not let him go. The hikers knew they had to act fast. They had no tools, no way to move the enormous rocks themselves. With shaking hands, one of them pulled out a phone, calling the nearest rescue team. The response was urgent. "We're coming. Stay with him. Keep him calm." But in a place this remote, how long would it take for help to arrive? And more importantly, would the stallion still be breathing when they did? As darkness fell over the canyon, the temperature dropped sharply. The hikers did their best to comfort the stallion, whispering softly, keeping their presence known. But his breaths were growing weaker, his body slumping deeper into the cold embrace of the rocks. Time was slipping away. Then, headlights. A cloud of dust rose in the distance as the rescue team arrived. Within minutes, trained professionals were assessing the situation, their faces grim. "He's been here too long," one rescuer murmured. "If we don't get him out soon, he won't survive." But the rocks were massive, solid, and one wrong move could send them crashing down, crushing the stallion beneath them. The team had to be precise. Working in complete sync, the rescuers secured ropes around the boulders. Every tug, every shift, had to be measured and controlled. One rock, then another. Finally, a small gap opened, just enough to relieve the crushing pressure. But it wasn't over. The stallion still had to make it out on his own. The lead rescuer knelt beside him, whispering softly. The stallion's ears twitched, his weary eyes barely focusing. "You have to fight," the rescuer urged. "One more time." For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, a deep, shaky breath. A slight shift of his heaves. The rescuers held their breath, and then he moved. With the last reserves of his strength, the stallion pushed forward. His legs wobbled, his muscles trembled, but he kept going, step by step, until, with one final burst of energy, he was free. The moment he stepped away from the trap, a wave of silence washed over the team. No one spoke, no one breathed. Then the stallion did something no one expected. He lifted his head high, his dark mane catching the moonlight. His nostrils flared, and then he ran. Not out of fear, not out of panic, but with the pure, unstoppable force of freedom. The rescuers watched in stunned silence as the stallion disappeared into the night, his hooves pounding against the canyon floor. A horse that had been on the brink of death, now running as if he had never been trapped at all. One of the hikers wiped away tears. "I thought he was done for." The lead rescuer nodded, his voice thick with emotion. "So did I." But the stallion had proved them all wrong. He had fought. He had survived. And now he was free. Some called it luck. Some called it a miracle. But those who were there knew the truth. This wasn't just a rescue. It was a moment of pure, undeniable resilience. A moment no one would ever forget.